Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a quick, is it a Q&A? I don't know if it's a Q&A. It's more of a, just responding to a lot of comments that I get on my profile, on my abortion story videos where I share my abortion story. I get so many comments that are literally exactly the same, like we're all just living in this very similar reality, and so I just wanted to just share my responses. First comment: I'm pregnant and the father of the baby has cheated on me. What would you do in this situation? And like what I would do now, knowing what I know from my abortion personally, is that I would keep this baby. I would keep my baby and run, and we would just go and live our best lives together, because it's a really sad situation and having a baby on your own is hard, but I think it's even worse just like having an abortion and being left on your own and just feeling so empty after, because that's how I felt. And my ex did cheat on me. I didn't find out until after the abortion, but a baby doesn't deserve to not be here just because of the actions of the father. And I know a lot of women kind of do it as like a revenge thing. They're like, hey, I'm gonna get an abortion because he's cheated on me, I'm aborting his baby. But that baby is the only innocent person in this situation. You and that baby are the only innocent people, and so your baby deserves to like be treated the way you'd want to be treated. Like you'd want to be given a chance at life. You're here because your parents gave you a chance at life, so just let that baby be the joy of your life and not a burden, because babies, they do bring joy to your life. Another comment: I had the abortion. I get so many of these comments, by the way, so many. I had the abortion and he left me straight after. Like some people even say that he literally went on a night out after. Literally after the abortion, he just ghosted. And this happens a lot. A lot of relationships don't survive abortions. Like, even though one of the reasons you get rid of it is because you're feeling guilty for making him become a dad, but you know, he doesn't care about you. He just cares that he's not having this responsibility, and that is why he will leave after the abortion, because there's been so much heartbreak and rejection that you've been feeling. So it might be just a bit toxic after the abortion, and so a lot of relationships crumble straight after the abortion. And that's just so upsetting, because one of the main reasons we get abortions is because we want the approval of our partner. Like, they didn't want to be a dad, and so we kind of are pressured, whether we know it or not. But if the dad doesn't want a baby, like, we will kind of give in to that pressure, because if we want to be accepted by them, we will do what they want us to do. And that's what I did. I wanted to be accepted by my ex-boyfriend at the time. They will get you to abort that baby and they will leave you. Don't give in to him. Don't give in to what he wants, because he's going to leave you anyway, basically. Like, you can have this baby by yourself. One thing I get a lot of the times is I'm not financially secure for a baby. And I get it, like, trust me, I get it. Money is important, finances are important, but they're replaceable. Like, money is always replaceable. You can either make more or you can get a loan. You know, there are charities that can also help you. The church can help you. There are lots of Christian charities that want to help pregnant women, and there are lots of non-Christian charities, but as a Christian, I just know quite a few Christian charities that genuinely want to help women, like in America, because it costs money to give birth, so they want to help you. So please don't ever make a permanent decision aborting your baby based off of things that can change. Like, your financial situation can change, and also having an abortion doesn't mean that you're now able to become successful. And if anything, now that I've got my baby 10 years after my abortion, I now feel even more motivated to work, because I will do anything for my baby, and I'm like, I want to give her a good life. And so it's like even more motivation. I'm like, yeah, I want to work hard for her. Before that, I wasn't that motivated. I was like, what's the point? What's the point in life? Someone else said, I don't have anyone around me to support my baby. And do you know what? That is tricky. Like, not having a village is so hard. I don't really have much of a village. My family all live hours away. And so I totally know what you mean. God's always provided me with people. Like, I've always asked the Lord, please surround me with like mum friends. Lord, please surround me with what I need, and he has been answering that. So, you know, the Lord is faithful, and I'd much rather have a baby and not have a village than not have anyone. You know, like I was talking to a girl, and one of her main reasons was that she's got no one. Like, one thing I said to her was, well, you're on your own anyway. You might as well add a cute little baby in addition to that. Like, personally, that's just my opinion. My life's been a lot less lonely with my baby. You know, we go on days out now, and it's just so much fun. I love it. So let your baby like become your family. You know, a lot of people ask me this question: was your abortion painful? And I'm like, why are you asking this? Is it because you're thinking about getting an abortion? Because please don't. I really don't want you to have an abortion. But yeah, my abortion was very painful. My abortion was the DIY at home pill, and I was on the floor throwing up in my bathroom, crying in pain. It was more than period pains. It was like, to me it was worse than contractions, because when I was giving birth to my current baby, I was in labor for 31 hours, and I was not on the floor crying. I was being calm, breathing, you know, I was in a calm, safe situation. Whereas when you do the DIY at home abortion pill, you're on your own, you're isolated. My body was in panic mode. My body was doing something that I really didn't want to do, because I didn't want to have this abortion. I was pressured into it. What is this? Anyway, so yeah, my abortion was painful, and I say this a lot. I would choose to have my labour with my current baby, which was 31 hours long. I would choose that over and over again over any abortion, because there's joy at the end, there's hope at the end. And an abortion just leaves you empty. It really does just leave you empty. A lot of people will tell me that I've had an abortion and it's haunting me and I can't stop thinking about it, and that is so, like, I relate to you, because you need emotional healing. I wasn't able to move on after my abortion. Like, I was just trapped in this emotional pain. I found it really hard to be around other people's babies. It was such a trigger for me, and I think one of the biggest triggers was like seeing other people with their babies and just hearing about their pregnancies. I just really felt like I had been robbed of my own experience, and you know, you might not want to have sympathy for me because I chose to abort my baby, even though I was pressured. But it was a huge trigger for me, and there's no doubting that. Yeah, I was so triggered by so many things around me, and it wasn't until I dealt with my emotional pain that I was able to find joy again, be around children, be around babies, and just have joy in the fact that everything's okay. You know, I have peace now, and I stopped having the triggers. I was able to just be happy for other people. You know, that is something they don't talk about with bitterness. You're not able to be happy for other people, but I was finally able to be happy for other people and their babies. And that's because the Lord God, he healed me, and I had to do a lot of work. I had to forgive everyone involved in the abortion. I had to forgive my ex especially. I had to forgive anyone that pressured me. I had to forgive the nurses and the doctors. I had to forgive myself for not knowing any better at the time. Also asking God to just cut all soul ties and just to bring emotional healing. Like, God actually gave me a vision of my baby. God's just brought so much emotional healing to my life, and I talk all about that in my ebook. The link to my ebook is in my bio. It's called Heaven's Playground, and it is all about how I found healing and this and taking the practical steps to walk in that healing. So if that is you, if you're struggling emotionally, then please go and check my bio out, click the link in my bio and just read the back of the book and just see if it speaks to you at all, because not everyone's religious, not everyone believes in God, but to me God is closer than the air I breathe. God is realer to me than my fingers in front of me. Like, God is so real to me. To me, there is so much hope in him, and that's how I found my healing. That's how I found my hope. It was only in God. I did normal therapy. I tried normal therapy. It didn't work. It just opened a wound that was never closed, never healed. I would actually feel worse after the therapy, because you're opening up all your emotions, and then you're just left to deal with it all, and you're just left thinking about it, and the therapist is like, okay, bye. All we can do is talk about it, but the one that can heal you is the one that created you. So go check out the link in my bio if this speaks to you. A lot of people ask how many weeks was I when I had my abortion. I think I was about 6 weeks. Every abortion is really sad to me. Like, I see every single baby as a precious life. It breaks my heart whatever age the baby is, but you know, you'd be surprised at how many people abort their baby in the second trimester. I get messages from a lot of women that are over 12 weeks and they still have an abortion. That it does break my heart, because not only are they choosing to unalive their baby, but the process of how they do it just gets even more barbaric the older the baby gets. You know, if the baby's under 11 weeks, you can just do a DIY at-home abortion pill, where which is still really sad, to be fair, and I am really heartbroken that I chose to do this. Like, obviously I have to forgive myself a lot. The first pill that you take when you do the DIY at-home abortion pill, it actually starves the baby of all nutrients, so the baby is starved to death, basically. Sorry for my strong words, but the reality of it is that. And then the second pill you take, the baby is expelled from your womb, so it's like a forced thing where the baby is forced out. You know, that is heartbreaking enough as it is, but once you get into your second trimester, it gets even more upsetting, because the baby is injected from the outside. They aim for the heart to, I'm pretty sure, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just my head knowledge, like trying to remember everything, but the baby gets injected with like an unaliving, like something they, you know, euthanize people with, like whatever that is injected into their heart from the outside of the womb. And then, like, I can't even say this, it hurts to say, but the baby is pulled, and they will pull limbs apart to make sure the baby is properly unalived, because sometimes babies are, when they're aborted past that stage, like they're born alive. And a lot of I think there's like an Australian nurse that's recently come out and exposed it, that you just have to leave them, you're just told to leave it on the side and it will stop breathing eventually. So they're just left to just watch this poor little baby lose oxygen. The later you have an abortion, the more barbaric it is. The comment that I get a lot, I get this a lot, right? I see this a lot, and it is, a lot of women will say, like, I got a tattoo of my baby that I aborted. Like, I loved my baby so much, I even got the memorial of him. You know, we kept the scan of the baby to remember him or her by. And I'm just like, why did you abort it then? You clearly had love for it. And I'm not judging, I'm like, something has told you that you can't be the parent that you clearly want to be, because you clearly have love for this baby. You got a tattoo of the baby, you kept the ultrasound scan of the baby and kept it by your bedside before you knew that you'd even regret it. Like, you did all of that and you still chose to abort it. So there's a lie there somewhere where, like, it's just deception. There's a lie that's telling you you can't be a mum to this baby, you cannot be a good parent. And I just want, like, if anyone's watching this and thinking that, like, I just want to ask, you know, who told you that? Because you can be a good parent, you know. Finances, you know, they don't matter. Now my baby's here, I would be homeless with her. Like, I would live in a tent with her. I would literally choose her over any amount of money in the world, because babies are priceless. That you cannot put a price tag on a baby. They are so adorable. They're so cute and squidgy. I love them so much. I love babies so much. Like, I'm trying to convince my husband at the moment to adopt babies with me. Like, every day I'm like, please can we adopt a baby? Because I just love them so much. They bring so much joy, and there is nothing that can convince me that a sum of money is more important than a baby. So yeah, like, when people clearly love their babies so much to get a tattoo of them, like, aborting them is just cruel, you know. You can keep your baby, don't listen to the lies. But yeah, that's all for today, guys. Maybe I'll do more of these. Just let me know in the comments if these are helpful or not. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.